Alrighty then, here we are. It's been nearly 3 weeks, and it is the return of the 5-Minute Focus. Successful Indie Author 5-Minute Focus, episode 295, Internet Suffering. Let me turn that off. There we go. Punishing your fear. What are you afraid of? When people go to publish, they're afraid of failure. They're afraid of being embarrassed. They're afraid of losing their dignity. I tell you what, when you publish a book, even if it's not a good book, you can publish a better book next time. And the book you published that wasn't very good, that'll fade into the ether over time. So do you face that fear or do you exacerbate it? Oh my God, somebody gave me a bad review, and then you publish the bad review and you push it and you harp on it. And why? That's you're punishing yourself. See, I knew I was horrible. Yes, of course you're horrible. Everybody's horrible on their first book, and unless they have a lot of outside assistance, a lot of outside help pushing them forward. So do you face it like, oh boy, I learned some good things from that. Yes, that person's right. Yes, I don't think that person's right, but how did they get that perception? You learn from it and you move on. Or you admit, oh my God, I'm horrible. Don't do that. Don't add fuel to your own personal fire. There's no need. So you publish it or you sabotage it by not publishing it. And this is there's a lot of people that do this because like, oh, I know I'm not very good. I have a book that I've written. I have 3 books that I've written and I haven't published any. Don't be like George McFly. And you change your trajectory by publishing that book. You don't change it by writing books that you don't publish. And you don't get that feedback. You don't get to know whether you're good or not because you've already sabotaged yourself. Don't do that. Get it out there, take a look, and accept that it's horrible, but accept that you can't learn unless you put it out there, unless people read your book, and not people, strangers read your book, strangers in your chosen genre. Give them an opportunity to give you some props. Like I said, it may be bad. Our first books are always bad. Don't worry about it. Make it better. Fix it. Move on. What you'll find is people are far more kind than not. The kind people aren't necessarily the ones who give you the most feedback because they'll read it. They might even leave a review. But you might not hear from them again. And yes, I'm clearing my throat a lot because there's so much humidity down in Florida. Still got a lot of stuff to work out. The ones you hear from the most are the trolls. Those people scream the loudest. They're out of control. So you just give them a finger in private. Don't get into public debates and spats with your fans, with those folks who have read your book. Because somebody read it and hated it and wanted to be very vocal about that. Hey, let them have their minute. There are professional critics that do nothing but hate on everything. That's their brand. Well, it's not my brand, and I don't want to be a part of it. People will do that to me, and you just ignore them. They'll go away. They want that public spat. They want that eruption. And look, I got this person to comment, and they're such an idiot. No, don't give them fuel for their fire. Don't give them any platform for their vitriol. Just let them be bitter, unhappy people in their mom's basement. You have to learn what you need in order to move forward. So if you've written a book, you got to get it out there, even if you don't publish it, but you've got to get it out there to strangers in a way that you can get real feedback to improve. And that's what life is. You get better you get better until you can sit on your porch and yell at people to get off your lawn. And that is the epitome of what every human being on this planet is trying to accomplish. You just want to be able to sit there and tell people to get off your lawn because you've got the chops to do so, because you've published a great book eventually. You don't have to publish it first. Hey, I've only published 1 book and it is great. Well, why don't you publish a second book if it's great? You can double your pleasure, double your fun. Don't punish yourself for honest mistakes. That's you write a book. Okay, if it's got typos, you write a book. It's got inconsistent grammar. There are issues with the characters. You have to learn. People expect to be a consummate professional writing at the level of those people who have been doing it for decades with their first book, with their first effort. You don't go on a golf course expecting to play the same as Jack Nicklaus your first time you swing the club. It took years and years of practice. It's the 10,000 hour rule. But writing, I don't think you have to write for 10,000 hours, but you sure as hell have to read 10,000 hours worth. Before I wrote my first book, I read thousands of science fiction books. And I think I was a better to write science fiction from the word go. And it showed because I my first books were okay. Storytelling was okay, but the writing just needed a lot of help. And eventually I got there. Only took like 5 million words, but it's okay. Everybody can get there. The journey is similar for everyone. Got to get that feedback. Got to hear about it. Got to move on. Punish your fear. Do not exacerbate it. Take hold of what is in your control, and that's writing the stories and improving the stories, relating to your readers because you're entertaining them, and you can do it better with each new book. All right, welcome back to the 5-minute focus. We'll see you tomorrow.